What's up, guys? Mount Vernon Kid here, coming to you again. Um, been a little bit basically keeping a low profile. Haven't been doing that. I took a week off from doing vids, and besides that, because I'm gearing up for the weekend, going away up to a place called Lake George in upstate New York with my girlfriend Destiny. So we're gonna have a nice weekend together. So I thought today would be a good day to get a few videos out that I wanted to talk about. And the first one is a response video from my friends, I should say, uh, Zipblockgory, Sly Cooper 88, Tanaka Khan 89, 1985, and FD, Waller, FW Waller. They did a video about, you know, this whole Justice League movie and things like that and the thoughts on it. So here I am pretty much giving my thoughts on it and just pretty much the future of what the company known as DC is going to bring to the big screen and my feelings on it. Okay. Um, all right. So not to really get too much into what they covered. All right. Let's start off with how do I feel about this? A Justice League movie, to me, this just feels completely full blown to me. Yes. Um, to me, they only see DC only sees Warner Brothers and DC. They see that they need to stay up with the competition, need to stay up with their rival, with basically saying, "Hey, Marvel brought their premier team out, the Avengers. Hey, now it's time for us to do the same thing." Just to keep up with them, instead of swallowing their pride and realizing that we need to go back to basics and really think about and maybe even take some from that company. But no, they won't. See, it's all about build up, right? Build up. And a Justice League movie, to me, just doesn't seem right to me. It's supposed to, they say sometime 2015. You know, I'm sorry. I just can't really feel it too much. Um, they have not done any kind of build up, any kind of notion of showcasing that other heroes exist. Okay, Christian Bale, Batman, Christopher Nolan's Batman. Great, great. And I'm looking forward to this next week to seeing the last one. But to call that, we have no notion of any other heroes outside of Gotham City. See what I'm talking about? So they will have to go back to basics. Um, but still, it's just that Warner Brothers and DC, they realize that they need to realize that they can't rely on completely. People are gonna get tired of him. And if you say, "Oh well, I can watch Batman, I'm watching Batman movie every year if they do it," you're lying. You're goddamn lying. Because even I would get tired of my favorite superhero if he was coming out every year. Spider-Man. I need variety, and that's what's lacking with DC. And once again, it just tears me up to see that they are literally just throwing this Justice League movie at. Now, we've heard a Justice League movie supposed to have come out 2006, 2008, somewhere around that time. And at that time, they were going to go with, I remember, who was some of the cast members? I remember Jon Stewart was going to be the Green Lantern. They were going to have the rapper slash Common play him. And I remember Jessica Biel was up for Wonder Woman. She's hot, but Wonder Woman, I don't think so. Okay, but it's very sad. Now, that's how I feel about it completely. But if it was done completely right. They would really have to convince me to really pull it off. First of all, what made Avengers work was the fact that 4 out of 6 of those characters that were in that movie had established movies already. Iron Man, Hulk, Cap, Thor. We knew who they were. So we didn't have to really go deep into an origin build up. They built that movie up. Now, with the members of the Justice League, depending on who they would want. Okay, yes, we know Superman, we know Batman, we know Wonder Woman, Flash, Green Lantern. I would go with Aquaman, and my guess would probably be Martian Manhunter. The founding members, the founding 7 of the Justice League. That's how I would go. As for a villain, I'll give it up. I'll definitely go agree with my friend FW Waller, who he said Despero would work. I don't think a Justice League movie would get away with their villain that they first fought when they came together, Starrio. I don't think people would really get behind, especially non-comic lovers like myself and everybody, would get behind a team of superheroes fighting a giant starfish. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So they would really have to change up some of the villains. And then, of course, why would these heroes come? See, that's the other thing. Once again, you'll hear me say this word again, build up. Why all these heroes? What would make these heroes come together where something the Man of Steel himself, who was nearly godlike himself, couldn't do by himself? You know, that's the thing. Um, Biggest fears of a Justice League movie is centered all around you know who, because you see them suits up at Warner Brothers. They know, well, Batman is our cash cow, so we have to keep him in charge and keep him on the screen the most. That don't work. That don't work. It's very hard, and it's very hard. I know they're working on a script, but I just don't see it happening without classic build up and establishing these characters in their own movie before getting to a movie now. That's how I look at it. I'm sorry. I just don't see it the way, the way people want to believe. And yet there are the DC lovers out there that are probably saying, then you're not you what are you, a Marvel fan? I'm Omni. I'm Omni, baby. I'm everywhere. You see? I'm in DC. I'm in Marvel. I'm in this. I'm in that. I'm in Dynamite. I'm everywhere. I'm a comic reader. Okay? I don't just stick to the big two, Marvel and DC. I like them, but I don't just stick to them. You know, can't be a nutty hugger all your life. You know what I'm saying? Sorry. And I apologize if anybody out there are just loyal to those companies. But to me, you got to branch out. You got to branch out. And that's something that DC is not doing. They're not branching out. With Batman, what's next? What's after Batman? We have Superman Rising. I mean, the Man of Steel. Superman Rising. The Man of Steel. And I will support that movie as much as I can, but then I'm iffy about it as well because of where that's going to lead. You know what I'm saying? But look, where else is DC going after that? Marvel, they got phases already planned out, baby. They they are truly killing them movie wise. Nobody is touching them. If they were in the Indy 500, Marvel is lapping DC completely. But I've heard DC talk about, you know, uh, they're saying Suicide Squad movie, and I'm like, huh? Like, why are you you're just you guys are now just pulling things out of your asses now just to get out there. Doesn't work that way. Does not work that way. A Justice League movie can be plausible, but in my opinion, guys, I am fully not on the bandwagon for a Justice League movie. Not now. Mm-mm. Not now. Not until Warner Brothers or DC get their act together. Not until DC, for God's sakes, yes, get their own studio like Marvel and get out of DC's butt. You know, get out of Warner Brothers' ass because they want just control over everything. They basically are like, screw the source material. We need to have our hands in everything. That's not cutting it with me. That is not cutting it with me. And I hate to be a downer on the truth, but the truth be told, that's truly what it is. Warner Brothers needs control of everything. They need to oversee everything. They need to have that. If you don't believe me, okay, let's look at some of the past movies that DC has come out with. One, Green Lantern. I went on, I made a video, guys, and ranted about supporting this movie because if this movie does well, then we're going to see a Flash. We're going to see this, and we're going to see that. Look what happened in that movie. And I don't blame Ryan Reynolds for that. The movie just was not what is expected. And they're talking about rebooting that now. Let's look at another movie, DC. Jonah Hex. Yeah. What went wrong with that? Everything. You could have had a gritty Western, like classic Westerns that I love, like Unforgiven and all, and The Man with No Name, and all those great Clint Eastwood movies you can think of, but more darker and grittier. But you give us a steampunk. You take steampunk, one of my favorite sci-fi genres, mixed with Western, mixed with sci-fi, with other science fiction subgenres, and mash it all together, and you get a complete load of garbage. Yeah, right. Maybe you guys, DC, instead of Justice League, maybe you need to figure out where you're gonna go with. From personally with me, keep Batman out of the limelight for a while. Okay, worry about other characters, establish them first, then get into a later down the line, get into Justice League. Okay, and hell, why don't you start it off, build a Justice League? The way I would do a Justice first, building up a Justice League, is do a World's Finest movie first. See, that's it. And I know I didn't really go too much in my thoughts of a Justice League movie, but the fact of the matter is, the thoughts are, don't work for me. Don't work for me. Word of advice, Warner Brothers, DC. I love your comics. I have some favorite characters under your company. But you need to stop you need to basically keep the name DC and not BC, if you know what I mean. And that's for all those who know what I'm talking about. And you need to swallow your pride and accept defeat and go back to basics. And that's all I'm going to say about that. But other than that, this is kind of my thoughts, kind of my response to my friend's video. And other than that, this is Mount Vernon Kid saying peace, one love, stay tuned, keep it real. Y'all take care.